Hi there, I'm Keegan Van Hook. I'm here in the Plaza adjacent to Lithia Park in downtown Ashland, Oregon, where there is meant to be a protest against the federal presence in Portland, Oregon. We're going to go talk to some people and see what it's all about. Come on.
Children's lives matter. The planet's life matters. Black lives matter. Women's lives matter. Indigenous lives matter. Children's lives matter. The planet's life matters. Black life matters. Indigenous life matters. Women's life matter. Children's lives matter. The planet's life matter. Black lives matter. Indigenous lives matter.
Situation. This happens to be the thing going on today, so here we are.
Sure.
I want to announce. I'd like to announce. We have one of the up-and-coming electoral officials who's running for mayor, Julie Akins, who actually made a statement to support our movement tonight. So I am about to read the statement that not only did she just send to me, but that she also sent to the potential media. If NBC5 is still here, this is a good time for you to be here to record this. Shout out to NBC5 and anyone else who's covering this story for us to come together and heal our planet absolutely. Are you with it? Yes, indeed. Now, Julie Akins says, first, thank you for caring enough to engage and march in solidarity against the president's unlawful actions in Portland.
Thank you.
He is out of his jurisdiction, violating the Constitution, escalating danger and violence against peaceful protesters.
Yes!
We have seen the truth. We therefore demand federal troops leave Portland and all cities where they are illegally kidnapping and assaulting residents. Also, I stand in solidarity with the simple and self-evident truth that Black lives matter, that Indigenous lives matter, that melanated people matter, that the people of color lives matter. We must stop killing our neighbors, and we must demand a once and final end to police brutality. Disproportionate incarceration, crumbling schools, redlining and discrimination in all its many forms. Furthermore, it is beyond time that we lift all of our fellow Americans out of poverty and value lives over money. In response to the unlawful actions in Portland by the federal government, I have requested the city of Ashland pass a resolution condemning the actions of the federal government and demanding they leave our state. I further request a panel of Black, Indigenous, people of color, or as I like to say, Black, Indigenous people of creation, keep it real, yo. Review the Ashland Police Department's use of force policies and examine the implicit bias training to each officer in the department. None of the things I'm asking or speaking to go far, or no, none of the things I'm asking or speaking to go far enough. How can our community do better? That is the real work, and I embrace the opportunity to do that together. I call on all my fellow elected and future elected officials to take action now. Thank you for your commitment. Sincerely, Councilor Julie Akins. Emily Simon would like to make a statement.
Hi, my name is still Emily Simon. I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney for 30 years. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and it does my heart proud to see all of you standing here with Portland condemning an illegal action. Please, Ashland, stand with Portland. Take action. 55 nights in a row. We've had people on the streets in Ashland. In Portland. Let's make it as many nights as we need to on the streets of Ashland so we get those federal bastards to leave our state.
Go ahead, Emily Simon.
Alright, so for those of y'all who don't know me, my name's Khaziah Anderson, and I've actually been to Portland once. I was up there for like 3 days, and speak louder. Is that better? Yeah. Alright, so my name's Khaziah Anderson, and I've actually been up to Portland for a few days. I'll give you a day-by-day account of what happened. First night I went up there. You know, we're out there, we're chanting, we're saying feds go home. Wanna know what we were met with? Tear gas and rubber bullets. I was there the night when Donovan got popped in the head. He did absolutely nothing but stand there with the speaker, but yet we're the violent ones. I'm here to say thank you for all of you standing with Portland, because the stuff that's going on up there, it is not justified for what they're doing. It is not constitutional, and it's damn sure not American. Yeah. I want to say thank you for actually being true Americans and standing with Portland, because what's going on up there isn't what the media is trying to portray it as. What's going on up there, for those of you who are Star Wars nerds, is Order 66. And for those of you who know what Order 66 is, you know it's not pretty. So thank you all for being out here. Thank you.
And also thank you for your work.
I ain't done yet.
Let's do it.
If we truly have a more liberated community, then this is the time for us to represent that reality and that truth and that wisdom and that deep karuna, as we say in the Dharma tradition, which means compassionate action. Are y'all prepared to embody that Dharma here today now? Are you prepared? Are you truly prepared? Say yes! Put your fist in the air and say yes! Put your fist in the air and say yes! All right. I want to be honest with everybody and be clear with everybody and be powerful with everybody. I'm an unswing, which is an itinerant monk, starting from the Zen tradition and expanding into the Dhamma traditions. And my life is devoted to the Dhamma. And I'm out here because these people are breaking precepts not only from Dharma traditions, but from ancient African traditions, from ancient indigenous traditions, and from many virtuous traditions on this planet. And it is about time that we enforce what needs to happen when those lines are crossed, when our species is disrespected, when our planet is disrespected, when our children are disrespected. We will not allow this. We will not allow this to happen. We will unify in heartfulness, and we will overpower, overwhelm, and outdo anything that stands in our pathway. To bring that compassion and death to this planet amongst all people, no matter how long it takes. Let's do this now. I will start with the Tibetan chant to give us the energy to be awakened and in deep heartfulness with each other, and then we will march. If anybody would like some water or need any capability to refresh yourself, we have water here.
Thank you.
And just so you know, there are Tibetan monks. There are Native First Nation spiritualists. There are African spiritualists. There are multi-ethnic spiritualists. There are Unitarian Universalist Fellowship Church people and other people in this community and expanding, praying for us right now. I asked them to, and they gladly accepted. Let us begin. Om Mane Padme Hum. Om Mane Padme Hum. Om Mane Padme Hum. Mane Padme Hum. Om Mane Padme Hum. Mane Padme Hum. Om. That's one. I'll go to the front. We'll prepare. When I say, Breonna Taylor!
Awesome. So why are you out here today?
We're out here for obviously for Black Lives Matter, and the big deal today is that today, all over the country, there are I think about 30, I'd say, what we call solidarity marches and protests. There's a big deal happened in Seattle. It was a huge protest. They fought the cops there, yeah, we're just doing our part. Same as for Portland, basically. I was actually in Portland for about a week of it, and fought the cops out there at the federal courthouse myself, so yeah, I know what it's all about.
Right on. So what do you hope that this will accomplish, and what do you hope for the future in general?
I mean, this is one just to show that the community comes out, basically, that we support the good stuff. I mean, I would imagine. I mean, we'll see what happens tonight. Not much. It's Ashland, so it's usually pretty mild around here. But we'll see. Yeah, it could be good tonight. See what happens.
And your hopes for the future? Talking 100+ years?
In 100+ years, there's no cops and no America anymore, I guess. For sure. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
I think I'm good.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much, man.
Now we're gonna do We Shall Overcome. Here we go. Thank you, Black Lives Matter people. We're about to set it off on a different tone. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, we shall overcome someday. Let's keep it going. We shall overcome I believe we really need to address the immediate situation at hand. We definitely will get on some Breonna Taylor. May her killers be brought to justice today. This next chant, make the feds flee, keep free communities free. We are at the point that this attack has taken different angles, sometimes women, sometimes children, sometimes indigenous people, melanated people, brown people, black people. You know, Al-Kibulan is the name of our supposed African continent. That's the name that the Pan-African movement uses. So all Al-Kibulan people and other melanated people, other brown-skinned people on the planet, we get targeted quite often. However, it takes different variations. Sometimes it's children, sometimes it's women, sometimes it's religious issues. In the Dharma traditions that I'm involved with, particularly Buddha traditions, we call that bad karma. Bad karma. And for a long time, we've been attempting, moving, grooving to eliminate and erase bad karma. What I'm asking of all of us, what this planet is asking of all of us, what our future 7 generations are asking of all of us, is to remove bad karma and karma from this planet so we can embody full Dharma.
Yes.
Yes. So when I say make the feds flee, keep free communities free, literally let's keep our planet and its organisms and the people who live on it free.
Yes.
Yes. Let's go. Let's begin. Let's march.
Freedom.
Hey, well, great running into you. I like the work you guys have been doing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, him. Oh, yeah. He already knew that.
Motherfucking Lord!
Make the feds flee! Keep free communities free! Make the feds flee! Keep free communities free!
Make the feds flee.
Keep free communities
Keep free communities free. Make the feds flee. Keep free communities free. Make the feds flee. Keep free communities free. Make the feds flee. Keep free communities free.
Make the feds
That's a friend of mine.
Make the feds free!
What a character.
Make the feds free!
So, why don't you start by just introducing yourself and what you're doing here?
My name is Ann Wilton, and I'm really incensed that there are federal officers that won't identify themselves as any particular group that are in Portland attacking peaceful protesters. So there was someone videotaping an arrest by these unmarked militiamen, and she kept asking them as they were arresting him or taking him away. They didn't say why they were taking him. She kept saying, "Who are you?" And they wouldn't identify themselves. So this is a generic, militaristic federal officer who won't identify himself.
Cool. And so what do you hope that this will accomplish, and what do you hope for the future?
I'm just hoping that this doesn't happen in any other cities. This is not American. It's un-American. Our democracy is in dire danger from military. I feel like I'm in a banana republic. So I'm hoping that will abate. And I think we needed an administrative change to do that.
Cool. So what do you hope that America or the world will look like in 100 years?
I hope we don't have any more homeless cats.
No more homeless cats. Awesome. I like the change of angle.
That's my real passion.
Okay.
But I'm going outside I'm stretching my passion to democracy instead of cats.
Cool. I like it. Anything else you want to add?
No, thank you.
Thank you so much. Nice.
Thank you.
My name is Dominique Toyer, and I'm about educating people on systematic racism and social injustice.
I'm Khaziah Anderson, and quite frankly, I'm just tired of the bullshit, and I'm here to make sure my people are safe.
And you, ma'am?
My name is Kayla Wade. I'm about community organizing, bringing people together to make things better.
Right on. And so what is it that you hope that this will accomplish? What sort of message do you hope that it's going to send to the greater situation going on out here today?
I mean, a big part of this is about solidarity. Obviously, the things that are happening in Portland are completely unjust. We're under a fascist regime right now, and there's nothing that says it can't come down to Southern Oregon, and it's also a reminder that we are all Oregonians and we need to stand in solidarity with Portland, and also recognize that the racism and the systemic oppression is live and well here too. It's hella racist in Southern Oregon, it's hella racist in Portland, and it's time things change.
Right on. And while I'm with you, what are your hopes for the future in general? Like, we're talking, what do you want the world or the country to look like in 100 years?
Definitely not this. I can tell you that.
Definitely
not this.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
want a world where I can look at my godson, take him out in public, because he's mixed. He's Latino and mixed with white. I want to be able to take him out in public and not have people look at him funny or look at me funny and have to explain to him why. Because I already had to do that with one of my other god kids. She's a little mixed baby too. She's Hispanic and white as well. And I took her out to the grocery store one day and she was like, "Uncle Kaz, why do people keep looking at us funny?" And I had to explain that to a 6-year-old. We shouldn't have to explain racism to kids. Racism shouldn't even be a fucking thing. Like, seriously, it's people. Like, when I look out at all these people, I don't see white person, black person, Latino. No, I see people. Color is just, pigment of skin. Some people have natural sunburn. I mean, not natural sunburn, natural sunscreen. Some people don't. That's the way I see it.
No sunscreen category myself.
Right? Me, I've been out in the sun my entire life, so it's like, it's natural to me. The only thing that happens when I go out in the sun is I get darker. I have an advantage over a lot of people here. Because I could be out here all day, where some people, it gets to them to where their skin starts burning. They're like, "I have to go home." I'm like, "You go ahead, rest up. I got this."
And you, what are your hopes for the future?
Definitely my hopes for the future is for America to embrace democratic socialism. But what people seem to think is that it translates to communism, and that's not what that is. We already have socialist programs like Medicare and Social Security, so we might as well go all the way and go with universal health care. We're talking about quote-unquote free college, and how we get that is by taxing the 1% so that we can all go to school.
Right on. Cool. Well, anything else you want to add?
Well, I absolutely want to add that before you judge a civil rights movement by our literal color, because we're used to it, I think what you should do instead is open your hearts, open your minds, educate yourselves, and don't be afraid to ask the tough questions.
Right on. I think that's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. And you guys, was there anything else you wanted to add just to this little 3-parter?
If anyone's listening, if you're a true American, instead of sitting on your ass and not doing anything, get up and do something. Share shit on Facebook. Go to your local protests. Do something. Don't just sit by and just let this breeze on by like we've done in the past. Actually get up and do something. That's the only way we can change this.
Absolutely, and just remember that we're in this for the long haul too. Like, this is not just a fad, this is our lives. So if you're an ally especially, you need to make sure that you're in it for the long haul.
Well, thank you guys so much for the time.
No problem, dude.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Now, no about occupation. Hold on, y'all. Now, let's slow down. Slow down. This is an important stop. Yeah. I'm glad everybody has come here today. And it's so beautiful to see you all. I'm actually going to stand up. Yeah. I have to stand up for this. The reason why we chant defund the police is because of the KKK affiliations and influences of slavery, genocide, and oppression that have deeply traumatized, deeply brutalized, deeply desensitized brown people in this country, and unfortunately, women and children in this country as well. So, instead of having a police force which is clearly representing Nazi Gestapo attitudes, influences, and Nazi-like behavior patterns, we say defund the police to change it into something more of a local town guard that embodies the outlooks, upliftment, and inspiration that normally you would get from firefighters. People aren't scared of firefighters. People don't see firefighters drive by and feel like they have to be supremely careful. People don't see firefighters drive by and wonder, oh, because my skin is dark, do I need to have a gun on me and just walk out of the car and just have a shootout with them because they're already going to try to kill me anyway? Or more basic situations, is my life in danger? Am I going to make it home safely today? I just wanted to go home to work. Go home from work. To my children, to my family. I just want to enjoy my life. Things are already hard enough as it is. To have to deal with some Nazi, disgusting, hideous filth. Not only attempting to destroy us now, but unfortunately succeeding in causing major, disgusting, filthy destruction towards our ancestors. Comprehend why we say defund the police. Why we are so merciless towards a ruthless Nazi occupation known as the United States Police Department. So when I say bring freedom and peace, defund the police, and you repeat and say it with me, and we say it together, it's to recognize everything that I just said, everything that we connect from the heart from. We must and we need to protect our species. Our species is destroying itself. Most species on this planet don't destroy itself. Wake up, people. All of us. Yes, there are melanated issues. There are issues with African people. There are issues with Latinos. There are struggles of even Asian people, depending on what country or what area of this country. There are struggles for First Nations. There are many struggles. There are struggles with other indigenous tribes across the world. We also must recognize our species itself is destroying itself. The coin has been tossed in different directions throughout the thousands of years of history that we can mark as violent. Usually, tops 4,000, 5,000 years ago. Before or after that, actually, it gets a bit fuzzy. People have to study thoroughly. but there's been a violent activity that has changed hands throughout different parts of our recent history over the past few thousand years. And we have finally the chance to bring that to a closure, because unanimously around the world, we are fed up with it. People don't realize within Hong Kong, they were very close to liberating themselves from the clutches of the Chinese government and overthrowing them. People don't realize that that almost happened and almost occurred over the past year. People don't realize how much First Nations people work to keep their spirits and their energy and their traditions alive, how resilient they actually are in the face of this disgusting Nazi occupation government, using white supremacy and European colonialism to enforce gateways to hell. And although we like to believe that it's just brown people, the fact of the matter is it's upon our entire species. We're all paying horrifically for this. Wake up and realize it as we chant this. When I say no justice and no peace, it means let us know justice and let us know peace. All right, here we go. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us defund the police. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police.
And now they left.
Let us know justice. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice.
Defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us know justice. Let us know peace.
Let us defund the police.
Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police. Let us know justice. Let us know peace. Let us defund the police.
Let's get the feds out of Portland!
Feds out of Portland! Feds out of Portland! Feds out of Portland!
This show is called Us As We Are. It's pretty much an open platform for whatever your views on all of this are.
Okay.
So why don't you start by just introducing yourself and explain what you're out here doing today.
Oh, my name is Jane, and I'm out here to march for Black Lives Matter. And getting the feds out of Portland. It's shocking to me what's happening to our First Amendment right to the people. Careful, baby. Sorry.
He had a mailbox.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking, all of the things that have happened up there with the mistreatment of the people. And it needs to stop, and people got to come out, stand up, or it's as bad as it has to be for people to come out. They need to get up, come out, and get the feds out, and let people have their First Amendment right to come out and stand up for police accountability for their actions. I mean, I'm accountable to my job. I've never been unhappy about that. There's this kind of backlash against being accountable for what you do as an occupation is scary. It means there's a lot hidden. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
Right on.
I walked a long way, so I'm a little out of breath and I'm a little bit old.
As am I.
Yeah, I hope you could hear me.
Yeah, totally. What are your hopes for the next 100 years? What would you like to see changed in America or in the world at large?
Oh, for the next 100 years? I haven't spent a lot of time doing that. I would really like to get a handle on our environmental concerns because I have young people in my life and they have a lot of worries about the future with the water problem. I mean, there's so many people that don't have clean water in the world. Imagine that. It's a pretty messed up thing right there. I would like a lot more freedom for people around the world. And 100 years from now, I'd just like us all to be able, I'd like people to be able to be living comfortably and a clean world. I care about the animals as well. I haven't thought a lot about 100 years. I think about maybe 10 now and then. Yeah.
So in the next 10 years, you hope to see, you said, environmental cleanup?
Yeah, in the 10, I'd like to see some of that happen. 100, I don't really think I can get too far into 100 years.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add, just to end it off?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Why don't we just start with you introducing yourself and what you're about?
My name's Eric Navickas. I'm a former City Councilor here in Ashland. And since this whole thing has come to pass with the Black Lives Matter, the death of George Floyd, I've been working to organize people locally to take a strong stand against racism, militarism, and poverty. And seeing this new extreme of fascism taking hold in America, it's disheartening, and we have to all come together and take a strong stand. And these are complicated issues as well, where I think white people need to come together with black people and fight the entire systemic problem here. And it's not just simply racism. It's like white people are basically getting a dime, black people are getting a nickel, and we're all under the same oppressive system of capitalism. And it's time for us to come together and speak out strongly against a system that isolates wealth into a few and creates an underclass of impoverished people. And of course, racism plays an integral role in this system. And that's why we need to tie all of these things together. Racism, capitalism, and militarism. They're all tied together, and we need to all stand together against this entire systemic problem.
So, what are your hopes for today's event, demonstration, and what do you want to see happen from here and into the future?
We're trying to build a movement here that's going to take on bigger issues as well. We have problems here in Ashland, especially towards oppressive policing and legislation against the homeless population. And this is a serious problem here in Ashland, where the community has somewhat aligned behind the forces of wealth, capital, and exclusion. And we're trying to bring these issues to light. And this is an intersectional issue with racism, the oppression of the impoverished. And we're seeing it in an extreme case here, where we have an exclusion zone downtown, where they're targeting homeless people in the downtown to give them petty citations. If you get 3 citations, you can be excluded and trespassed from the downtown. So people are denied entirely their constitutional rights, which is free movement within their country, equal protection under the law. Yeah.
Cool. So then what are your hopes for the long-term future? Like, what do you want the world to look like, or the country, in 100+ years?
I think we really need to begin to embrace socialism and bring down the system of capitalism that, when we look at the extreme of it, it's slavery, where the wealthy class can make as much profit off their workers as possible. We have gone through some liberal changes where we don't have slavery anymore, but the same system of exploitation of labor exists. And it's interesting to look at the extreme in the origins of America being formed on racism. Being formed on slavery. But we live under a system of basic wage slavery right now, which isn't a whole hell of a lot different.
Anything else you want to add to conclude?
I think that's it.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks.
This is a very important location. This is where our future 7 generations begin to take their journey, begin to live their lives, begin to look forward to the future that we have, that we are attempting and fighting to provide for them. So please remember that this is just not for us. You know? Meaning, not for us, just us here right now. This is not just about us who are alive right now. This is about the future. Some of us are already mothers and fathers. Some of us will become mothers and fathers. I'd like for that to be positive. Doing this makes it positive. Fighting for the future of our children and their children and their children brings us together. We don't want to see our children have to face greed, racism, sexism. We don't want to have to see our children face nuclear warfare, starvation, diseases, pestilence. We don't want to see our children suffer from 5G technology. We don't want to see our children get poisoned as other people are genocided in this country. We don't want to see those things happen. First Nations people are dying of coronavirus. Melanated people are dying of coronavirus more often because of racism. Believe it or not, many Pan-Africanists believe, including myself, that the coronavirus is just another attempt to take us out because the AIDS virus did not accomplish that goal. Our areas have been attacked. We had a place called Little Africa in Tulsa where we were trying to build our own economy. And the KKK, in collaboration with the United States government, massacred our town. First Nations people have had their entire countries wiped out. We are dealing with Nazi occupation. Even to the extent that they don't care if they pollute our oceans, pollute our mines. They don't even care if they have to kill off most of us to get their way. And they're putting it on display. However, we outnumber them. And more importantly, our quality is stronger than theirs. The quality of our heartfulness, the quality of our spirit, the quality that brings equality. The quality that takes us away from duality and into singularity with each other. Are we not in singularity with each other right now? I said, are we not in singularity with each other right now? Everybody here is from different backgrounds. Even with our mostly European neighborhood, there are people here from different backgrounds still. 50 years ago, that was not possible. Comprehend that. Some of your parents have seen when a person who looked like me would not have been able to walk down this street. And yet here we are marching with each other in singularity and heartfulness with each other. We are going to fight for our 7 generations. We are going to give them heartfulness and rejuvenation. And we are going to march for the benevolent liberation of all creation. All right, now let's continue, because we're about to get these feds out of Portland. The 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 feds out of Portland.
Feds out of Portland. Feds out of Portland.
So why don't you start by just introducing yourself and what you're about?
Okay. My name's Justin Rosas, and I'm here to support the voices that for too long have been quieted and harmed in this country at disproportionate rates.
Right on. And what do you hope that this demonstration today will accomplish?
Well, we obviously have to bring attention to what's happening in Portland, which is terrible. Watching federal forces be unleashed on graffiti and mostly peaceful protesters. But really, I think this protest is still largely about asking for law and policy to change, to eliminate the systemic racism on which they were founded in order to make our society truly free and equal for everybody.
Cool. And what are your hopes for the future, both the immediate future but also the long-term future? You could answer this in 2 parts. So what are your hopes for the next 10 years, let's say?
Yeah, I think first you've got to do things like eliminate qualified immunity. You've got to make discipline more transparent for police officers. You've got to eliminate the economic underpinnings that give advantages to certain races over others. And that's going to involve changing a lot of economic policy and law. And the focus needs to change a little bit too. But I think the other things that have to happen are we have to stop using the police and requiring them to go into every single situation, over litigating our communities instead of growing them together and learning from those situations. And so a big part of what we want to see is the police out of a whole lot of the situations that they're currently being thrown into.
And then what are your hopes for how the world or the country will look in 100+ years?
I hope that in some ways, it just looks like what we're seeing on the street tonight. I hope that you see diverse people with huge backgrounds and different ideas coming together to say we love each other, we want to support each other, and we want to provide the healthiest environment for each other and our children.
Right on. To conclude, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Black Lives Matter. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. Yep. Love the shoes.
Thanks.
Really like the outfit. Yeah. But so to begin, why don't you just introduce yourself and kind of say what you're doing here and what you're about?
My name is Oliver, and I'm here because I feel like it's wrong that like Black lives are not doing that well, and that the feds are going, it's not good that what's happening. it's basically it's not good what's happening, and I'm just trying to help.
And so what do you hope will happen as a result of this demonstration?
I'm hoping that people will hear what we're doing and then like act on that.
So I'm 21. How old are you? Actually, I'm 22. Sorry.
I'm 9 and I'm almost 10, so it's close.
So when you're my age, what do you hope the world looks like?
A better place.
And what do you hope that the world looks like in 100 years?
Like heaven.
Heaven. Is there anything else you want to add?
I mean, I think I said it all.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you just coming right up to us and asking to be in it. That's really cool.
You're welcome.
You have a good day.
Thanks, buddy. Very well said.
Yes.
Together, standing for liberation, and we deserve to have this chat done. It's an honor for me to do this. Oh, gate, pada sam gate, bodhisvaha, om gate.
Together we fight. We do this every night. Together we fight. We do this.
The feds out of Oregon!
Get the feds out of Oregon! Get the feds out of Oregon! The feds out of Oregon!
The feds out of Oregon!
The feds out of Oregon!
The feds out of Oregon!
The feds out of Oregon!
The feds out of Oregon!
The feds out of Oregon!
The feds out of Oregon!
The feds out of Oregon!
The feds out of Oregon! Get the feds out of Oregon! The feds out of Oregon! Get the feds out of Oregon! Get the feds out of Oregon!
Hi there. Would you be interested in doing an on-camera interview for our show? It's Us As We Are. We just do sort of open platform. No? Okay. Would you be interested in doing an interview? No? Would you be interested? No?
Is there a reason you're standing here?
Would either of you guys be interested in doing an interview for my show? It's called Us As We Are. Okay. Would you be interested in doing an interview? Okay.
Would any of you guys want to do an interview?
Anyone wanna? Okay, that's fine.
Even as I'm talking, continue. We pray, not only for, we also meditate, pray for the victims of police violence in 2020, including Breonna Taylor. May she rest in deep power, deep patience, and deep positive healing.
It's for our show Us As We Are, where we just interview people as
What's
they
the
are.
show?
It's called Us As They Are.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Yep, you seem like you're out here as you are.
Dude, I was
So yeah,
wondering when you
just
were gonna
start. Why don't
show
you just go ahead and
Turn
introduce
around,
yourself
babe.
and say what you're
Babe,
about?
look who's behind
Well,
you. Yo, we found a girl that says...
well, my name is James. My friends call me Grim. I've been out here since '08. Living life and loving life. Everyone's all about Black Lives Matter. Well, I say all lives matter. And they're like, oh, well, Black lives have to matter first before all lives can matter, but that's not true, because we all have to love each other unconditionally, each other. Doesn't matter what fucking color skin you are. It's about love and about how you feel about someone. Not even about someone, just you got to know that we're all one and we all love each other. We need to love each other so we can grow and be the one God that we are, because thou art God.
Cool. So why are you specifically out here today in your current fashion?
Well, they told me they were going to arrest me if I was in the road again. And then I saw a bunch of people coming down the road. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going out on the road. And I got this flag right here with these seagulls on it to represent Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It's a book written by Richard Bach. And it's pretty much just about, this seagull that wanted to teach the rest of the flock that they can do so much more than they were doing. And he went off and did that. And they were like, oh, seagulls don't do that. Well, we all love, we all light. We're all light. And so I'm out here repping the Jonathan Livingston Seagull flag. And then I was like, well, fuck, how much can I get away with? So I took my pants off. Because they told me they were going to arrest me. That guy over there with the gray hair, he's like, oh, if you're in the road again, I'm going to arrest you. And I was like, all right, sorry, sir. And I walked away. But then this whole protest came down the road, and I was like, he ain't arresting me now. And, I heard there was a protest today about the whole, feds in Portland and stuff, and how they're taking homeless people off the street. Well, we've been talking about this for years. They've been having FEMA camps open for years, and it's like, well, fuck. A lot of these people don't know what the fuck to do, and now they're all homeless because of COVID.
So what are your hopes for the next 10 years?
Well, I'm actually a wildland firefighter.
Oh, right on.
And I lost my phone, and so I missed my fire call.
Bummer.
I won't name my company or nothing at the moment. I want to put them on blast. But I'm out here firefighting. It's my second year this year. And just making sure the air force isn't smoky and stuff, and it's hard, good, honest work. It beats trimming. I fucking hate trimming; it makes your hands hurt. And, but I've been out here since 2008. Really, just like getting to learn God and becoming one with the universe that we all are.
So then what would your hopes be for the next 100 years? Talking 2120.
That we all come together and realize that we're all God. And then we'll become one and become what we used to be. That's my next for the hope. Next, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's it in a nutshell.
Gotcha. Anything else you want to add to conclude?
Thou art God.
Right on. Thanks a lot for your time.
Hey, bless. Thank you.
I don't have much to say, but I have this. The system doesn't need reform. The system needs to not be the fucking system.
Yeah! Yeah!
Okay, I'm gonna read a poem that I did not write. It's an old poem. It's about World War II and Nazi Germany. So, first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. We need to stand up for each other. We have to. We have to lift each other up, and we have to be there for each other. We have to protect each other. We have to have humility and listen to each other. We have to Because it's not just about you and me, it's about all of us. Oppression hurts everybody. It hurts the oppressed and it hurts the oppressor. And the people who are oppressing are missing out on an opportunity to learn and to have compassion and to love and to be full human beings. So we have to help them and help us. We have to be there for each other. Because if we don't come to each other's support and love each other, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it if not us? We have to be there for each other. Stand up, say something when you see something. Say something when you see something. Educate yourself, educate each other, keep each other safe.
Hey, so I don't usually do this, but lately I just felt like I really need to say something, all right? We gotta forgive each other for being manipulated, okay? We gotta forgive each other for all the manipulation that they did to us and all the wrong we did to each other while we were getting manipulated, because we're not gonna get anywhere until we can see each other and be like, hey, you got manipulated and you wronged me. I wronged you when I was getting manipulated. I'm sorry I did that, you know? I'm sorry that I got duped into being a punk-ass bitch when I was a kid or whatever, you know? White supremacy gets us all twisted. It gets us all duped. It's got nurses, it's got teachers doing the wrong thing for the right reasons, and it's fucked up. And until we can look ourselves in the mirror and forgive ourselves for the wrongs we did up until this point, we're not gonna get anywhere. So let's be real with ourselves. We got manipulated, let's change. We can change now.
Anybody else?
I have a poem too. I have a poem. I'm nervous as fuck. I'm from Florida. I mean, it's really bad out there, you know. So I'm just gonna read a poem. I'm nervous. I'm on live right now, so thank you guys. I want to thank everyone for being out here. This is awesome. You guys are doing everything. So here, I'm gonna read the poem. For ours and our future generations, let us join in a war. Call it no separation. While we awaken in a worldly vibration, earthquakes are shaking, biblical revelation. I'll raise my hand, I'm telling the nation. Yes. I hear them. If God was God, why so much evil? But God never touches the heart of a human's free will. Poison generations, influential spirits, immoral musical melodies brainwash the children earth. Enlist in this warfare. Just a simple button, click. Just share it. That's it. For anyone, I don't know who's here, but you know, if you call yourself a patriot, you know, like that's what the word patriot means. It means to expose corruption. Yes. 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 You know, and so that's what we have to do. That's your duty, to expose corruption. And, you know, like, if there's anyone out there listening, you know, you just, you know, at the end of the day, there's no one more, there's no, every culture, there's going to be morality and immorality. It doesn't matter what culture it is. It doesn't matter if you're at the school and there's molesting children, there's moral behavior, there's immoral behavior. And so we have to understand that, you know, with that comes, you know, a window of people who can be immoral, you know? And so when you have judges, when you have cops and everywhere across in the population, just basic population, and there's white people, well then racism is gonna happen because it's a hateful thing and it's either you love or you hate, you know? And so no matter what culture you are in, you know, those things are gonna happen. So it is our duty to stand up for that and not let that happen. Like, don't let us divide us, you know? Like, everyone, all spirits, all gods, Jew or Gentile, you know, we're here, you know, and we have a responsibility to speak out against corruption, you know, and speak out for love, you know, and everything, you know, and that's, I don't want to keep going. Okay.
You good, brother. You good. You're good. You're good. Does anybody else want to speak? Come up.
Alright, I'll be number 3 or something.
I'm gonna keep this short. The lessons that are most important that we learn are not because of the things that we do. It's because of the ones we're forced to learn because of who we are. As a gay man, I have learned that the bonds we choose to create and stand with are more powerful than the bonds that are forced upon us. As a Jewish man, I have learned, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? Because we have a duty to stand up when we see injustice. Because if not us, then who? If not now, then when will this end?
Now!
Now!
So, I know we've been saying a lot of names for a lot of people in the past, but one name I don't hear said enough, nearly enough, is Miles Hall. He was a friend of mine, killed by Walnut Creek Police Department last year. He was having a mental health episode, and his parents called the police because there was no one else to call, and the police shot him. He would have been alive today if there were other options. I've been passing out pamphlets today with Southern Oregon emergency contact services other than police. Unfortunately, I ran out earlier, but I'm sure some of you guys have them. Feel free to take pictures of them, spread them out. It's got mental health crisis on here. It's got sexual assault lines. It's got all sorts of drug abuse, any sort of resources you might need for Southern Oregon. It's got statewide, Josephine, Jackson County. Just please share those resources with everyone.
What was your friend's name?
Miles Hall.
Miles Hall!
Do what? Yeah. Okay, now, all lives matter. Black lives matter for sure, and we've been knowing this here for a long damn time. And I know white people have been knowing Black Lives Matter. Now, I wish that the news was here because I would like to be on TV. I would like for the grandparents of these cops that shooting these people with their hands up to just tell their sons and grandsons to stop doing this. You know, we don't have to necessarily march. They already know there's somebody out here doing this. Now, I understand that my freedom depends on your freedom. And if you don't think your freedom depends on my freedom, you're wrong. I don't know who is the bad person. I'm from Alabama. And I grew up in racism. I mean, I was living when they bombed the church in Birmingham and the Ku Klux, all that bullshit. But I understand, when I got out of the military, I heard a little girl saying, "Here, nigger, nigger, nigger," and I was working for the city, so I went up to see what she was talking about, and she was calling her pet dog. I understand that I don't necessarily blame the Ku Klux Klan for being Ku Klux Klan because I know that the grandparents are raising these little bitty kids when they're 2 years old. It ain't their damn fault. Yeah. So somebody up here was saying forgive. Yeah, well, we're gonna have to forgive those people. It ain't necessarily their fault, but once you grow up and find out ain't no damn Easter bunny, stop buying that shit. Yeah. You know? Understand Santa Claus? All that money is going to Japan, and I don't know whether that's our friend or foe. I love Americans, black and white. Y'all white girls and we're gonna have to protect each other. We cannot just hate the police because they got a damn job, and they have to do it. I respect them, but I do not know who the evil person is. You know, I used to think it was the white man because when I was little, everybody white was, you know, in charge of everything because I was in Alabama, and it was race back in the 50s and 60s, even though I'm only 28. I don't know who is the bad person. I don't know who it is, but I know if I take care of me and I try to take care of this young man here, then we can fucking beat this shit because we got to do it together. If we don't do it together, we're gonna sacrifice it. If anybody out there think that black lives don't matter, we would not have the freedom we have, the things we have, if it weren't for black people because we invented a whole bunch of shit. And I love all of y'all.
Oh yeah, she was there.
As a white man, this really isn't my platform, so I'm just going to say the names of people who have been killed by police brutality. That is Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and countless others I can't remember the names of off the top of my head. We need to come together and stop this. It's inexcusable and absolutely needs to stop. Thank you.
Kinda girlfriend, ex, I don't know.
First of all, I want to say I love y'all, and you guys are all beautiful for being here. And I just want to say that what you are doing right now by being here, you are healing yourself, you are healing your future children, and you are healing your ancestors. So good on you. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Hello. Earlier we were chanting "Together we fight, we do this every night." I'm prepared to be here every single night at 7 p.m. until the feds get out of Portland. Who is with me? Because I'm right here.
I'm with you!
Every night. All right. I'll see you.
1900.
7 o'clock every night I'm here.
Yeah.
1900.
She making this an everyday party. All right, here you go.
We are here to make a fucking difference. Another way you can make a difference is to vote in your local elections. Get involved. You are electing the people that will vote later on the people that are elected in higher positions. Get involved in your local elections. Stay up to date on who is running and what their policies are. Do not stop at just a protest. Continue to educate your family. Be compassionate. People will not listen if you just shut them down. We need to show them we were all racist at one point, and we have learned. We have learned. We may not be committing overt acts of racism, but we have ingrained, internalized instincts, and we need to overcome those and show other people how to overcome them. That starts with compassion, and that starts with educating yourself and others. Support people of color. Support your local governments. Stay involved.
All right, brother.
This country was built on the idea of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And there are so many times where individuals are stolen from that idea. They are taken from the idea of happiness, they are taken away from the idea of liberty, and they are definitely taken away from the idea of life. Having been born and raised in Southern California, I know that there are colors. They come in every shape and size, just like all the rest of us. The worst part is just because you're looking like somebody, you get stopped and you get harassed. Now, this occurs here in Oregon as well. You're Mexican? Uno, dos, tres. You're white? 1, 2, 3. This comes in every shape and size. The problem being, we are not together.
Yes.
The police are not our enemies. We are not our own enemies. The enemy is the written policy that governs senators and congressmen and the people who shell out for those large PACs and that big payout.
Yes.
Do not think that the police are your enemy because they answer to a congressman and they answer to a senator. They are not trying to divide us. They are here to protect us. And you know what? Sometimes it's out of fear. And sometimes, you know what? They make the wrong decisions. And you know what? They do make wrong decisions just like human beings because they want the same thing as the rest of us: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thank you.
Really quick, someone was saying something about local elections. If any of you are from Medford, Randy Sparacino, the former police chief of Medford, is running for mayor this November. Do not let him into office. Randy Sparacino, the former police chief of Medford. Do not let him into office.
And I'd also like to elaborate and say, let us not give Amazon, Wells Fargo, and Nestle our money. Yeah.
Explain why. Why? Why not?
I wanted to hear why too. I don't know.
No Nestle, no Amazon, no Wells Fargo. And Wells Fargo is right up the street, you feel me? We need to not support these things, these entities that are supporting the corruption of our country. And we need to come together. Does anybody else have something to say?
Alrighty, I just wanted to say one thing that I was thinking while someone else was talking. Making mistakes is fine, making mistakes is human, but when those mistakes end in the loss of life, that's when we need to make a difference, that's when we need to make a change. And then I also wanted to say, for some of the younger people out here, it can feel really, really great when you're surrounded by people who think the same and who are out here to love people and to make a difference, but when you go home, you're surrounded by people who are putting you down constantly and who are devaluing you, invalidating you, and invalidating this movement. But I want you to know that you can keep fighting and you're so strong and you're loved by people who really genuinely care about you and your well-being, even if it's not at home.
Thank you.
As many of you have seen, there have been some flyers going around. I'm an Unsui. My name is Mmmingpha, and my name is Bantu in Tibetan. The is Bantu, the Ingpa is Tibetan. And I'm stationed at the Unitarian Church. We're doing an event similar to this in Garfield Park next Saturday, starting at 6 p.m. We're going to gather in protest to getting the feds out of Oregon and continue this, getting the feds out of Portland, taken to the streets. This time we're going to take to the park. It's also going to be mixed with a vegetarian potluck. We're going to sign some protests to ban Confederate flags in Oregon. We're going to sign some petitions to remove all dead Indian, Jim Crow, KKK presences out of Oregon. We are also going to collect donations to create an international website for local activists in other countries. We also are going to focus on making sure that at this event on August the 1st in Garfield Park, we will have announcements not only from Julie Akins, but also her opponent, and as well as the chief of police of Ashland, as well as other officials locally and statewide. Do you feel me? Do you feel me? Do you feel me? So, if you see the flyers, they have been circulating around. If they've run out for some reason, please share with people around you the information. I did not put my Instagram on there. My email is on there. If anyone is interested, my Instagram is at OTOQAYAQAHA. Just to repeat one more time, OTOQAYAQAHA. I post these events on the Instagram all the time. Next time at the next event on August the 1st in Garfield Park, we will have my Instagram on there as well as my email. And we will continue to keep this momentum of our unification as a people. We will continue to not allow violence upon our species, and we will continue to create a better life for our 7 generations on this planet.
Hey, jaw, nose, eye.
Yeah, most definitely. We will continue to rise.
Tell
And we will finish with this chant. We will finish with this chant.
Tell please.
We're going to finish this with this chant.
Jaw, nose, eye, and eye.
Yeah. Remove all white supremacy today. As we walk, as we pray. Remove white supremacy today. As we walk, as we pray. As we walk, as we pray. Remove white supremacy today. As we walk, as we pray. Remove this march. Thank you for coming today, everybody. And let's keep this momentum going. Can I get a witness to that? Louder! Can I get a witness to that? Louder! Can I get a witness to that? Yeah. So this is our song that we shall sing as we close and continue to connect our hearts with each other, with our communities, with our tribes, with our people, with our children, and with this planet. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Remember, August the 1st. Can you say August the 1st?
August the 1st.
August the 1st.
August the 1st.
At Garfield Park.
Garfield Park.
At 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 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
At 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
August the 1st. August the 1st.
August the 1st. August the 1st.
Namaste.
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 Namaste. Namaste.
All right, so this is what I think about. What do I look at first of all?
Me or him. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, this is kind of like what I think about white supremacy and racism and the systems of things. Societal systems, especially systems that uphold power to determine the life and death of its own civilian/population, attract people with sociopathic or narcissistic tendencies, which is a certain lack of consciousness. It's a spectrum to take place in upholding those positions of power. This isn't just about police brutality as a form of racism. This is about a society whose system is built on such a racial predation that it not only determines the literal, but the figurative death of its targeted colored populations. The current system of brutality not only kills people of color, but it suffocates their souls. The system doesn't need reform. The system truly just needs to not be the system. That's what I think.
Anything else you want to add?
I think that people gathering is really good. And I think, like as you can see out behind us, there's a bunch of tables for people to be eating outside right now, especially with COVID-19. And I think that you shouldn't be able to just eat a meal and go on with your everyday life and sit there and not be disturbed. I think that, you could say we're causing a ruckus or maybe it's bad for business. You know what's bad for business? People getting murdered and no one caring. That's not great for business. Like, that's one extra person in the whole world that's like not gonna supply you with like income. So I just kind of feel like, yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you so much.
Spinning off at the end.
That's okay. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so I think that concludes tonight's events. We got a lot of really interesting conversation with a lot of really interesting people. It was a pretty peaceful protest. Everything went about as swimmingly as you could really hope from something like this. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. And we'll see you next time we end up doing this. Until next time, I've been Keegan Van Hook. Have a good one.